What's up guys, today I'll be going over the new exotic bow. Now I've never taken a French class in my life, only Spanish, but I'm gonna try to pronounce it once just for fun. Le Monarque. So all the French majors out there are French speakers, tell me how bad or good I did. But anyways, from now on we're gonna refer to as the bow. So it really hasn't been completely confirmed how you get this bow exactly. From what I've heard, it's from the two Nessus forges, and may or may not be tied to having a frame on you at the time for a black armory weapon. So if you guys have gotten this bow, let me know how you got it, what you had on you, if you had a previous week's frame, if you had no frame at all, if you had a new black armory frame, which forge you were on, or anything like that. So if you guys know any information that can confirm or deny exactly how this bow is acquired, feel free to comment that below and we'll try to make a thread and actually determine exactly how you get this. But moving on to the perks on this weapon, the exotic perk, Poison arrows. Arrows fired quickly after a full draw become poison arrows. Precision hits with poison arrows spread poison to nearby enemies. Then this weapon also has a few other perks, then also snapshot sights, which is pretty good. So in this video, we will be going over if this bow is good in PvE or not, then also quickly touching on it in PvP, and just overall giving our opinions on this new exotic bow. So let's go ahead and begin. So this entire bow works around the fact that you get perfect draws, which is right when you fully charge the bow. The second it's fully strung up, you'll be able to tell, and right when you release it on that, that's what creates a poison arrow. Then if you get a headshot with one of these poison arrows, it then spreads to nearby enemies, so it's kind of like a thorn-like effect, but also like a dragonfly-like explosion that spreads the poison to nearby enemies. So there's a lot of stuff going on. First, let's talk about how the perk actually works and how the full draws work. So if you just quickly release, obviously that will not work. If you overcharge the bow and hold the charge for too long, it will not work either. So it's only on that perfect release, as you see right there, that does it. And it works on body shots, as you see right there, then also on headshots. And in both scenarios, the poison hits 120 8 times on this ogre. So the body shot impact hit 1005 and the headshot impact hit 1503, so 50% more on the headshot. And the dot on both body shot and headshot hit 120 8 times for a total of 960, meaning the total damage of a headshot with this weapon is 2463. So not too bad. Now one thing that was interesting was to see if the dot actually stacks. So shooting two shots at him back to back, let's see if the 120 stack or not, or if it caps out to only like 120 every X seconds. And as you see, shooting him twice in both of these clips, the 120s actually do stack. So with the two shots, I end up hitting 16 120s. So the dot does stack. The more you shoot them, the more the poison hits, and the faster the poison will tick. So every time you shoot a headshot at this ogre, you will be hitting that 2463 number for every arrow. And now it might take a little bit of time to do that damage, but that's the damage of every single headshot on this ogre. So now that we know the damage of each individual shot, we can now test the rate of fire of the weapon, which relies on my reaction time, so this will come with a little bit of error in the calculation, but it took 7.42 seconds, meaning the damage per second of this bow on headshots on this ogre are 1659 damage per second, which is very low and not surprising. So this bow isn't great for single target damage like almost every bow in the game, so where it really shines is ad clear in groups. So if you just headshot one enemy, it will spread the poison to nearby enemies, almost like Dragonfly. This is definitely the scenario where this bow is used in PvE for this group ad clear. But in my opinion, it doesn't feel that great even in this scenario. It just feels like a worse version of Dragonfly when you're using it. So if we compare it to something like this bow right here with Dragonfly and Archer's Tempo, then also a Dragonfly spec, which is new in Black Armory, which increases the radius and damage of Dragonfly, this bow just feels straight up better than this exotic, plus it's only a legendary, so it's not taking up your exotic slot. And as you see, it does basically the same thing as the exotic bow, where on precision kills this time instead of hits, it creates that explosion, but instead all the damage is done instantly compared to the poison taking time to do that damage, plus the radius of these explosions feels a little bit more consistent and better. So really, it's just the same thing as the exotic, but all at once. Before I get into my overall PvE breakdown, I want to talk about this weapon in PvP real quick. So in a headshot, it almost kills a Guardian from full health, but it does not quite unless you have a buff of some sort, like Empowering Rift, or something like that. So you'll really need to finish them off with a different primary or a shotgun, or your teammates are going to have to help you finish off the targets. Now I played 2 games of PvP on this guy's account with this bow, and it was pretty fun. I thought it was a pretty good weapon. It would be interesting to see as more people get this weapon if it becomes meta or not. I can see it being top tier, but maybe not like the go-to option for almost every scenario. So I don't think it'll be the undisputed like best weapon in PvP for the next, month until the last word comes out or whatever. But it will be interesting to see as more people get this weapon. If you have like 2 or 3 of these on your team, they might combo extremely well, and it could open up this new laning meta, almost like year 1 of Destiny 2, which I don't think will be good for the game, but we'll just have to see as time goes how it works. So overall in PvE, what do I think about this weapon? So much like the Malfeasance, the poison kind of lends itself towards high health targets, which you shouldn't be shooting a bow at those type of targets. So if it's not really great for single targets in PvE, while bow ad clear in PvE, well, I think at best case scenario, it's just the same as Dragonfly. I think with Dragonfly spec in the game, you might actually give the edge to Dragonfly in terms of consistency and total damage output. Plus the damage of Dragonfly is done instantly compared to the poison taking a few seconds to do all of its damage. And not to mention that you have to give up your exotic slot for this bow compared to a legendary bow with Dragonfly. The main difference between the exotic bow and Dragonfly bows is that Dragonfly requires a kill to proc the perk, while the exotic bow only requires a hit. But once again, if you're shooting a precision shot at an enemy in PvE and they're not dying from a bow, then you probably shouldn't be shooting the bow at that enemy anyways. Those are things like all the majors and whatnot, and in those scenarios you should be using your special weapon anyways. So I think it has a lot of the same issues as Malfeasance in PvE, where it's kind of geared towards high health targets, but it's on a type of weapon that isn't great for high health targets, so it's kind of like in this weird middle ground of where it's kind of useful, kind of not useful. One thing that is for sure is that this weapon is extremely fun to use, and once I get it on my account, I'm sure I'll probably use it for a few days just for fun, and to just try to fill out the gun a little bit more with more playtime. But my initial thoughts on the weapon are that it probably won't be used in PvE in like 2 weeks. Once everyone's gotten it, used it a bit, I don't think you'll see it that often. So this weapon isn't great in PvE, but it's definitely pretty good in PvP and could probably become the new meta. So it's definitely worth picking up if you're a PvP player. Anyways, I think that's me it for the commentary part of this video. The rest of this video will just be some strike gameplay of the bow to show off how it works in a lot of different scenarios because it's just brand new. Anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.
Right away. I'm not surprised. Kate, you're up.
Whoa, wait, I'm not ready. I had all those things for this song. I had to charge this bitch. You know what? One time, I hit it all this. Jeez, forget it. We'll just forget.
All of the paths to the rest of the base are shut tight. But get me to a console, and I'll take care of that. I think they were waiting for us this time.
Sometimes the best way to spring a trap is to spring the trap.
Alternatively, don't be there when it's ready.
We'll have to try that next time.
Show reinforcements coming.
That last harvester exposed an active fuel cell. advice on an energy shield?
I believe the nearby Vex constructs maintain that barrier.
Well, I could have... Okay, we'll shoot them. You are both depressing and unhelpful. Vex want this too. If I were them, I'd want it gone. I hope this is safe. The claw don't need to stick the